Okay, so more information has come out in regards to that thug Axel Rudakabana, who went on a murder spree a few months ago, and he's being hit with a further 2 charges. The first charge is the Biological Weapons Act of 1974 for being in possession of a biological toxin, ricin. In addition, he's being charged under the Terrorism Act of 2000 for being in possession of an Al-Qaeda training manual. Now, you must understand that he is not being charged for terrorism as it relates to the 3 girls that he murdered alongside the attempted murder of many more. In addition to all this new exclusive information coming out over these past couple of days, or these past 2 days, we've seen that this woke Labour government have known about these additional 2 charges prior for many weeks now and have decided to say nothing about it. In regards to this case, all we've been fed is lies, 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 and more lies. A few months ago, when this case initially broke out to public knowledge, we were being told not to believe everything we saw on social media. We were being told exclusively that this wasn't terrorism related. His name, age, and identity in general was concealed from public knowledge, which allowed tensions to spiral out of control in regards to different communities in and around England, and I'd even argue which triggered off the riots. And then eventually, when the Crown Prosecution Service decided to release his name and age, they released an outdated picture of him when he was like 14, 13 years old. In fact, if you want to see an up-to-date picture of Axel Rudakabana, you need to look at a sketch that they've made public of him in court with a scruffy afro and covering his face. That's all we get, a sketch. We don't even get an up-to-date picture of how Axel Rudakabana looks like. So we still see that they are protecting his identity and his image, and they don't want that to be public knowledge, when on the contrary, what we've seen approximately a week ago is Martin Blake, who was cleared of all charges in relation to the Chris Cabba shooting, has essentially been demonized by the CPS, and that same CPS decides to cover up the identity. Up until now, we don't have an up-to-date photo of Rudakabana. His picture, how he looks like, has still not been public knowledge, and all you see on articles online is just sketches, or you get to see him when he was like 13, 14 years old. But anyway, let's proceed with the content of today. What I'm going to be playing is the Chief Constable giving an update in relation to this case, and then Nigel Farage's reaction, and then I'll come with my analysis at the end.
The 2 further offences relate to evidence obtained by Merseyside Police during searches of Axel Rudakabana's home address as part of a lengthy and complex investigation which has been ongoing since the 29th of July. The additional charges are the production of a biological toxin, namely ricin, contrary to Section 1 of the Biological Weapons Act 1974, and possession of information, namely a PDF file entitled Military Studies in the Jihad Against the Tyrants, the Al-Qaeda Training Manual, likely to be useful to a person committing or preparing to commit an act of terrorism. At this time, counter-terrorism policing has not declared the events of the 29th of July a terrorist incident. I recognise that these new charges may lead to speculation. The matter for which Axel Rudakabana has been charged under the Terrorism Act does not require motive to be established. For a matter to be declared as a terrorist incident, motivation would need to be established. I would strongly advise anyone against speculating as to the motivation in this case. The criminal proceedings against Axel Rudakabana are live, and he has a right to a fair trial.
In the wake of the horrific murder of those 3 girls in Southport in July of this year, I asked some questions saying, please tell us the truth. Stop the online speculation. Well, it's taken a long time to find out more about the individual. He's now been charged, believe it or not, under the Biological Weapons Act because the police have found ricin in his home. He's been charged under the Terrorism Act, alleged to have downloaded Al-Qaeda terrorist materials. But the murder of the girls and the serious injury of the others, that is still being treated as a non-terror incident because they don't know what the motives were. We've also been told this afternoon there are other facts that we don't yet know because the Crown Prosecution Service say they will come out in good time in court and are not to be discussed now. So that's all right then. That all makes sense to you, doesn't it? Yes, absolutely.
Honestly, this is just a joke of the British criminal justice system. You refuse to charge Axel Rudakabana under terrorism because you cannot establish his motive behind the killings and the attempt to kill many more. That's an absolute joke. Even though all the signs point to terrorism, you're still not going to charge him for terrorism because you don't know his motive behind the killings and the attempt to kill many more. That is an absolute joke, honestly. And justice has not been served in the slightest. And again, what we've seen essentially is just lies, 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 and more lies. And this essentially is an excuse to section him for mental health and not a murderer that he is. You know, they are looking for a way to lie again and say how, you know what, we've spoke to him, he is not a sane person, you know, he has mental health problems, and this is how they're going to bring and play the mental health games as it relates to this case and not hold him fully accountable and charge him to the highest extent of the law to guarantee justice in this case, but instead they are planning to backtrack. So this has been a shambles of, you know, the British criminal justice system. It's been an absolute joke. This is terrorism. You know, he has the manuals. You know, he's just gone out there and claimed the lives of many and wanted to claim the lives of many more. You know, this is a man that was a man, again, I say not a boy, that has been planning this for a very long time. And he should be charged to the highest extent of the law. You know, he shouldn't be, you know, I don't want to hear about his mental state, because when they bring that into the conversation, then, you know, they want to section him for mental health, and that is not going to serve justice to the girls that have died and their family, and it's not going to serve justice to the lives that he tried to claim. So yeah, but anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and have your say as well, guys. Have your say. Let me know what you think about this. This has been an absolute shambles. I thought that when more information will come out, then we'll see, you know, things going in the right direction in regards to justice. But we're just seeing, again, just backtracking, lies, and yeah.